On this episode of Bookish Mind, Season '08, Episode '09, exploring Debra Fine's The Fine Art of Small Talk, we confront the assault on a conversation with a deadly weapon and identify the culprits. Welcome back. So today we're diving into these really fascinating excerpts you shared from Debra Fine's The Fine Art of Small Talk. And we're focusing on something she calls, well, quite dramatically, conversational crimes and misdemeanors.
Yeah, it's a strong phrase. She talks about this trend, this assault on a conversation with a deadly weapon.
Right. And she says these armed and dangerous people can, quote, torturously murder a dialogue. Sounds intense. She even says she's been victimized.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it? Her whole mission in this part of the book is getting more aggressive in preventing conversational crimes. So she's basically investigated and classified these killers.
Every types, right.
Exactly, 8 distinct types. And she warns us, they're disguised, they can change appearances, pop up anywhere.
Okay, so the big question for us today is, how do we spot these conversational renegades? And maybe more importantly, how do we make sure we aren't accidentally on that conversational criminals most wanted list?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Self-awareness. The goal is to give you some, let's call them crime-fighting techniques.
Crime fighting techniques for small talk. I like it.
Think of yourself as a conversational detective after this.
All right, let's get into it. First up on the most wanted list, the FBI agent. Not the actual FBI, obviously.
No, no. She means the person who sort of stalks casual chats and then corners someone for an interrogation.
That rapid fire questioning.
Exactly. Like a machine gun. What do you do? Where are you from? Married? Kids? Lived here long? How long of the job? What's your mother's maiden name? Almost like that last one sometimes.
Uh-huh. And you're just stuck giving these short, like, staccato answers.
Right. There's no space, no room to elaborate or even, ask them a question back. It's all one way.
And they miss out, too, right? By not asking open-ended questions or sharing anything about themselves.
Totally. They don't build any real connection. So the person being questioned, the captive, as Fine calls them, just feels interrogated.
So if you find yourself in that situation, what's the defense? How do you handle the FBI agent?
Well, you kind of have to gently take control.
Mm-hmm.
Fine suggests you sort of become the host.
Okay. How?
You can ask an open-ended question back. Or maybe even better, offer something about yourself first. It can make them less nervous, maybe.
Self-disclosure is a tactic.
Yeah. So if they ask what you do, maybe share a bit, then pivot. Like, and what does that kind of job involve for you? How'd you get into that field? You dig a little deeper.
Use those listening cues, too. Nod, say, uh-huh.
Exactly. Show you're actually listening, not just spitting back data. It helps ease it into a more, normal conversation.
Okay, good strategy. Next up, we have a pair. The braggart and their sister, Braggarita. These are the boastful types, right?
Oh, yeah. Executing conversational mass murders, as Fine puts it. All about boasting, maybe stretching the truth a bit, very self-aggrandizing.
So the braggart, they like an audience.
Loves an audience. The bigger, the better. Always talking about their latest win stock market, kids' baseball skills, amazing new gadget, that whole I'm king of the world vibe.
And Braggarita, how's she different?
She's more subtle, apparently. Prefers one-on-one, or maybe a small inner circle. Speaks kind of conspiratorially.
Like sharing a secret?
Sort of. Telling her confidants about her amazing new kitchen or that fabulous trip to the French Riviera. But she expects them to spread the word.
Delegated bragging.
Pretty much. Either way, the impact's the same. They kill the conversation with these stories about how great they are. You just can't compete or even participate, really.
Right. So, crime fighting here. What do you do? Just stand there and listen.
Fine suggests redirection is your only real hope. Try to steer the conversation gently towards something more general, like, current events.
Or maybe talk about something you're doing.
Exactly. Refocus on your own life. The key is redirecting, not challenging them head on.
Right.
That usually just backfires with the braggart.
Got it. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about, can you top this? The one-upper?
Ah, yes. First cousins to the braggart.
But they don't brag first, right? That's the difference.
Exactly. They wait for your story and then they have to top it. And often, Fine says, they don't even realize how, offensive it is.
Yeah, that can feel really deflating.
Totally deflating. You share something, maybe a struggle you're having, and bam, they jump in with their own bigger, more dramatic version.
Or like the example.
Yeah.
You mention a relationship issue and your friend says, honey, I know just what you mean. Let me tell you about my Anthony.
Right. It just steals your moment. Makes you feel like your thing wasn't important or wasn't heard, even if they think they're showing empathy sometimes.
And that phrase, Been there, done that. Ugh.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
killer. 4 words that basically say, your story is boring and old news. Move on. Murders the conversation right there.
Fine even gives that shocking example. The woman complimenting an expensive outfit, and the other replying, "Oh, I got mine at a thrift shop for $15."
Ouch. Yeah, just completely undercuts the person.
So what's the antidote, the crime-stopping advice for dealing with a one-upper, or maybe for not being one?
It's actually really simple but powerful.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge the first story, really listen to it, enjoy it, appreciate it.
Don't immediately jump to your own thing.
Exactly. Fine compares it to, like, rushing through a glass of fine wine. Why rush? Savor the moment. Savor the story someone is sharing with you. There's no need to immediately jump to the next thing.
Just be present. That's good advice generally, I suppose.
It really is. Okay, who's next on the list?
The monopolizer. This one's interesting because Fine says they can be a master of disguise. Even shy people can be monopolizers.
Yeah, that's counterintuitive, isn't it? But they boldly take control of the conversation, often thinking they're actually doing everyone a favor, performing a community service by keeping things going.
How do they do that? Just talking endlessly?
Pretty much. Constant self-disclosure. Peeling back layer after layer of their own onion, so to speak, without really checking if anyone else is getting bored or wants a turn.
Fine has a personal rule, right, about talking time.
Yeah. She mentions trying never to talk for more than 5 minutes straight without passing the conversational ball, which, she admits, can feel surprisingly short when you're talking about yourself.
5 minutes can fly by.
Okay.
Okay, so dealing with a monopolizer. What are the strategies? Let's say it's one-on-one.
Well, sometimes, especially if it's someone you can't easily interrupt, like your boss or maybe your mother-in-law, Fine says sometimes surrender is this tactic. Just listen. You can try to get brief breaks by, like, changing the topic, sharing something quick yourself, or asking a question you had ready, but you can't force them to stop.
Okay. What if you're reaching your limit?
Then you can try the white flag approach. Give a polite warning, like, wow, Gary, that sounds like an amazing golf game. Hey, before you continue, I just need to let you know I've got to jump back to that budget report in a few minutes.
Ah, a polite heads up. And in a group, does that change things?
It does. With 3 or more people, you have more power to redirect. You can kind of assume the role of host. Take an interception. Find a way to connect what the monopolizer is saying to someone else in the group. Like, Lori, that's a great story about Adam's hitting streak. Hey, Marilyn, didn't you say your kids were starting soccer soon? How's that going?
So you pass the ball diplomatically.
Exactly. Bring someone else in, especially maybe the quieter ones. And Fine's optimistic here. She thinks monopolizers can be rehabilitated once they realize what they're doing.
Okay, good to know there's hope. Next, the interrupter. This one sounds driven.
Yeah, characterized by high drive, determination, and a lack of patience. And Fine actually admits she's guilty of this one herself. Says her husband often calls her out on it.
Why do interrupters interrupt?
Usually it's because they think they know what you're going to say, so, like, why wait?
Yeah.
Or they think you're wrong and they need to correct you immediately, don't want to waste time,
But the impact is bad, right? It sabotages the conversation.
Oh, definitely. It completely throws off the speaker, makes them feel unheard, disrespected.
Yeah.
Really derails the whole flow.
Now, Fine says there are only 3 good reasons to interrupt. This seems strict.
It is pretty strict. Okay, reason 1, you absolutely have to leave right now.
Makes sense.
Reason 2, the topic is genuinely making you too uncomfortable, and you need to change it immediately.
Okay.
And reason 3, you're dealing with a monopolizer who has talked for over 5 minutes straight and hasn't given you any natural pause to jump in.
Wow. Only those 3. Otherwise, it's a conversational crime.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to let people finish their thoughts.
All right. Let's move to the poor sport. How do they kill a conversation?
They kill their own conversation, usually, by
Uh-huh.
refusing to play along, basically. They turn open-ended questions into dead ends.
Like how?
You ask, what did you do this weekend? They just say, nothing.
What?
Or they use sarcasm where sincerity is expected,
Mm.
like responding to, I love you with a flip back at you, or ditto.
Ooh, yeah, that feels dismissive.
Exactly. It strangles the conversation by withholding nourishment, as Fine puts it. It shuts down connection, cheats the person who offered something genuine.
So, how do we handle the poor sport? Can we fix it?
The advice is to teach by example. So if they ask you a closed-ended question, like, how was your weekend?
Don't just say fine.
Right. Answer it as if it were open-ended. Give them some detail. It was great, actually. We took the kids skiing. The weather was perfect. Give them something concrete they can respond to.
You model the behavior you want to see.
Exactly. You give them material to work with. Show them how the game is played. Just, be careful not to become a monopolizer yourself while you're doing it.
Good point. Always a balance. Okay, 2 left. The know-it-all. We all know this type, I think.
Oh, yeah. They mow you down with arrogance and condescension. Always right, knows everything.
They just knew the stock market would crash, or who'd win the election, or that it would be a bad winter.
Yep. And they have zero interest in anyone else's opinion. If you disagree, they'll cut you down without compunction.
That can silence a whole room, can it? People don't want to risk looking stupid.
For sure. Why bother sharing your thoughts if the know-it-all is just going to shoot them down?
So, the crime-stopping technique here, is there one?
There's a surprisingly simple question Fine suggests. What is your opinion?
Asking the know-it-all their opinion.
Well, it can sometimes create a small opening, or at least frame their pronouncements as just that opinions. And crucially, she reminds us to be clear when we're offering just our own personal opinion so we don't accidentally slip into being the know-it-all.
Self-policing again. Good reminder. Okay, last one. The advisor.
The advisor, always ready with an endless array of solutions to everyone else's problems.
Even when nobody asked for advice.
Especially when nobody asked. Fine says they can be seductive because they seem so positive and helpful, but really, they decimate a perfectly good chat by meddling.
Because people usually just want to be heard, right? Not fixed.
Exactly. That's the core issue. Most people want empathy, compassion, someone to just listen and understand.
Yeah.
They don't want unsolicited advice.
Fine gives examples, right? Like advising her friend Bill on his sales rep, or her SPI instructor diagnosing her muscles.
Yeah, or the classic work smarter, not harder line she got from someone named Steve. The advisor assumes they fully understand the problem from just a tiny snippet and jumps in to rescue the person, but ends up minimizing their feelings instead.
Physicians get called out too.
Notoriously, yes. Jumping to diagnosis before hearing the whole story.
So the solution seems obvious, but maybe hard to practice.
It is simple. Just give the gift of listening. Offer advice only when it's actually asked for. Acknowledge what the person said. Show them their feelings are valid and important. That's usually far more helpful than any quick fix.
Okay, so that's the lineup. The 8 criminals who can really bleed the life right out of any conversation. The FBI agent, braggart, braggarita, one-upper, monopolizer, interrupter, poor sport, know-it-all, and the advisor.
Yep. Fine acknowledges there are other minor offenders, petty criminals, but these 8 are the most wanted.
And the tough part, as you said earlier, is looking in the mirror.
Right. Fine says, often, the worst offenders are staring back at us.
Mm-hmm.
We all likely have tendencies towards one or more of these on a bad day. She admitted to being an interrupter.
So we need to police ourselves, check our own rap sheet.
Exactly. Be aware so we don't accidentally aid and abet the murder of a good conversation. Self-awareness is key.
And even with the best intentions, sometimes you just get ambushed.
Yeah. You might be doing everything right, but you run into a committed conversational criminal. Fine says sometimes, there's nothing you can do except make a quick getaway to preserve your own sanity.
A conversational escape route. So thinking about all these crimes and the ways to handle them, here's something for you, our listener, to consider. Knowing these conversational pitfalls, what's maybe one small change you could try in your own interactions this week? Just one thing to maybe prevent a conversation from getting murdered, or perhaps even, rescue one that's already in trouble.